Good afternoon and welcome to Augstsprieguma tīkls investor webinar. We will begin with a presentation from the company followed by a live Q&A session. Throughout the call, we will be looking forward to receiving your questions. Please submit them in writing through the Q&A window below the presentation. For your convenience, the webinar is being recorded and replay will be available shortly after the session. Now, let me introduce today's hosts. Rolands Tīkls, Chairman of the Management Board, and Gatis Junhans, Member of the Management Board. The floor is yours.
Thank you, and welcome to our webinar. So we will now introduce with a half-year results of 2025, and so very briefly about the company. So here we are, Rolands Tīkls, Chairman of Management Board, and Gatis Junhans, Member of the Management Board. About the AST Group, so there is no changes since the last presentations. First of all, we are owned 100% by Ministry of Climate and Energy of Republic of Latvia. We are a regulated public service provider. We have a long-term credit rating from Standard & Poor's A-minus. We have green bonds, 100 million euros, and loan 80 million euros, which is not used in the first half of this year. We are the majority shareholder of gas transmission and storage operator Connexus Baltic Grid, and also one-third owner of Baltic RCC, which is co-owned company between all three Baltic electricity transmission system operators. We also last year received Sustainability Index Platinum Award, so we are a highly rated company also regarding sustainability targets. Our infrastructure consists from electricity transmission lines and substations, so transmission lines 5,555 kilometers long and 141 substations. And in the first half year of this year, we transmitted almost 3,000 gigawatt hours of electricity. And for the natural gas business side for Connexus Baltic Grid, Connexus Baltic Grid is the owner of 2.3 billion cubic meters gas storage intra-accounts, which is one of a kind of such infrastructure in the Baltic and Nordic region. And we are also owner of 1,190 kilometers gas transmission system. And in the first half of this year, the volume of transmitted gas was 13.9 terawatt hours. And the group asset value is totally 1,547 million euros. So the main priorities for us during this year, the first of all is safe electricity grid operations, and the main priority for this year is of course the synchronization with continental Europe, which was already successfully done, and I will talk about this a little bit more in the next slide. So also readiness to emergency, cybersecurity. Then for green transformation, we are focusing on renewable capacity connections, including onshore and offshore wind parks, and also green substation projects, which we have ongoing. And for digital transformation, we have priorities regarding the change management, process improvements, operations, IT integration. And for employee engagement and development, we develop competencies and skills for our team members and our AST team as such. So the main accomplished milestones and main events in the first half of this year. So as I mentioned, it's synchronization with the continental Europe. This is the group of projects, which the central projects of our current strategy period, which is ending at the end of this year. And the synchronization was the main target during this strategic period. So it was successfully done and completed on February 9. So Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania successfully synchronized their energy systems with continental European grid. And the day before that, February 8, was the date when we disconnected fully from Russian and Belarusian grids. So related with synchronization, there was a lot of investment projects, and few of them are continuing this year. So in the first half of the year, we completed and synchronized with the network our second synchronous condenser. The first was in Globinia. This we did at the end of last year, and the final one we will complete during this month in September. Also related with the synchronization project is also electricity and balancing market of Baltic states. So this is also one of a kind project in Europe. We three Baltic states together created common balancing market. So this is a big achievement also on European scale. And we successfully launched this market just a few days before the synchronization. And so far the market works effectively every day. So we run this market every day just before the day ahead market, and successfully ensures that we have enough balancing capacities in our region through this market platform. We also joined the European Balancing Energy Exchange platform, Picasso, which is for the automatic frequency reserves. For MARI platform, we joined already last year autumn. So now we are full members of these European energy exchange, balancing energy exchange platforms. And here as well, we are ahead of some other European countries which are already part of the European network system. And also in the first half of the year, quite important milestone was that the first wind farm and electricity batteries, electricity balancing market in Latvia started their operations. So this is quite important because it's the first hybrid connection point where we have a wind farm together with electricity battery, which is good in several ways. So it's better for this wind producer. They can better balance their production behind the meter on their side. That's also very good for our services as AST. So this means additional balancing capacity, additional balancing energy available for our balancing capacity market. And as you can see from the picture, this was quite a big event, not only on national level, also on international level, and we got the information about synchronization project also in New York Times Square on Nasdaq screen. So other accomplished milestones and main events in first half of the year. So we also got renewal of our license for electricity transmission. This is quite long-term license, so it's renewed every 20 years, and this was the year when we had to renew it. So it was done successfully without any big issues from the regulator side. Also on the regulatory side, the Public Utilities Commission, the Latvian regulator, has adopted amendments in the tariff methodology. So they introduced a new efficiency mechanism, which will ensure more efficient cost recovery within the regulatory period. So this is already which we are taking into account and prepared our tariff proposal for the next period. Also related to the tariff proposal is new weighted average cost of capital rate. So it's was set in very early of July, and it's currently 5.82%, which is significantly higher than the previous one. And so also the electricity transmission system service tariff project was submitted in the Public Utilities Commission. It was done in July, but the preparation works was done already in the first half of the year. So that's the main topics regarding the operations and tariff. Regarding the sustainability, we are working on several projects. One important project is a new unique system for efficient electricity battery management, which is currently under development. So we plan to complete our battery project in October, and at the same time there will be ready also this management solution for the batteries. So to ensure efficient charging of the batteries, discharging of the batteries, and their efficient operation, covering our balancing capacity needs. Also, we are working on green substation project. So the first stage has been completed, and we plan to put this new substation in operations in next year. And for the future, we plan to rebuild all substations with green technologies, so substitute existing fossil gases with SF6 free equipment. So renewable electricity connections to the transmission system, we have already 28 contracts signed with due date 2025 to 2027. Out of these 28, we already have completed constructions for 4 connections for 4 electricity generation units with total capacity of 270 megawatts. During this year, we plan that there will be a few more completed, but the majority of these 28 contracts will be completed during the 2026 and some of them also 2027. What is important, there was period from summer 2023 to June this year when we didn't give any new these technical requirements and we didn't start any new projects regarding the new connections for renewable energy. But with the amendments in the electricity market law this year, there is a possibility that we can give additional quite significant amount of capacities, and we saw this interest starting from June that more investors, more developers of renewable energy are taking our technical requirements and starting their projects with building connections and their solar and wind parks. So, innovative solutions for increasing transmission capacity are being tested. We have a few pilot projects here. So here the main goal is that we want in real time, this is called dynamic line rating, we want in real time to evaluate the condition of the transmission network, and through this we can give more capacity on our transmission network. So it means that we don't have to build new power lines to provide more capacity on our network. We can improve our forecasting, we can improve our technologies, and through the real-time solutions, provide more capacity on the transmission network. Regarding the connections for the first half of the year, the main accomplishments was a new grant agreement signed for financial support from the European Union for North and Baltic Hydrogen Corridor project. This is currently just for the studies, and the amount of this financial support is 6.8 million euros. So after the studies, we can continue with decisions with possible investments, but currently it's only on the study phase. Also, part of the Inčukalns underground gas storage modernization project was realized. The gas pumping unit was installed on the foundation, so this will increase efficiency and safety of the storage facility. And also, quite important project was accomplished. This is a construction of biomethane injection point in Augstsprieguma parish. So this is a publicly available biomethane injection point. So it means that biomethane producers which don't have their own direct connection with transmission or distribution network of natural gas, so they can bring this gas there with trucks and inject this biomethane into the system, even if their facility of production is more remote and further away. So regarding the electricity transmitted to users, here you can see very high stability through last 3 years. So if we look on the numbers from 2023 to 2025, there is almost no changes in volumes of transmitted electricity. At the same time, there is a chance that actually the consumption in Latvia is growing, because part of the electricity which currently is produced, a lot of new connections is on distribution level for solar generation. And if this electricity is produced on distribution level and consumed on the same level of distribution level, so you won't see this electricity transmitted through our network. So stability in this sense doesn't mean that there is no increase in consumption, but this consumption stays behind the meter of AST, and more probably on distribution level or even on microgeneration level. Then also electricity generated in Latvia by the type. So we can see also quite stable situation here. So the same numbers as last year. So 73% from renewable and 27% from fossil energy sources. In our case, it's natural gas. Again, here we have growing capacities in renewable generation. At the same time, the biggest share of renewable generation still comes from hydropower plants, and so the actual volume produced in hydropower plants are really dependent on what is the year and what is the snow and rain conditions in specific period of the year. So for Connexus key facts, so we can see that there was quite high drop of transported gas since 2021, but in the last couple of years it's stabilized. So there's even slight increase between first half of the year last year and first half of the year this year, and also the underground gas storage. So we can see that there is a decrease from previous year, but these numbers are mainly affected by the market situation, especially the underground gas storage. So there is a main factor of filling this storage is related with price spreads between winter prices and summer prices. And this year we have lowered these spreads if we compare with a year before. And therefore, also the underground gas storage fulfillment is lower than the year before. So regarding the group's key financial figures, from the revenue side, we can see quite high increase of revenues for AST, but this is mainly due to higher usage of congestion revenues to cover operative expenses. And operative expenses also increased for this year for AST quite a lot, and this is related to this new Baltic balancing capacity market. So we have to procure through this market additional balancing capacity energy capacities, and there was quite high prices in the first half of the year. And for the first half of the year, AST had to cover all these costs, which was mainly due through this additional revenues from congestion income. So and then yes, so to offset the balancing capacity reserves. The group's revenue increased so from to 178 million euros from 131 million euros. EBIT decreased to 50 million euros from 59 million euros, and it's due to high base effect from the last year's very successful half-year period in gas transmission storage business. And so the group's profitability, so it's also a little bit lower this year if we compare from the last year. So for AST, it's a little bit improved, but that's related to the dividends received from Connexus Baltic Grid. Regarding the group, there is decrease from 29 million euros to 19.1 million euros, which still is good. Regarding the group's capital structure, we see the assets is gradually increasing. That's related with completed investment projects. So every new completed investment project with new infrastructure brings more asset value in our balance. And for equity, we see quite a stable situation both regarding the group and regarding the AST as the company. And for capital structure, we see that there is decrease from the previous year. So for AST, it's 37% at this moment, but this is also affected significantly by received EU funding. So if you look on the borrowing side, the borrowing is stable. For AST, it's this 100 million euros bonds, green bonds. Also for the group, it's stable. But since all these new big capital investments, also the projects related to synchronization, and we have quite intensive EU funding in these projects. So our equity numbers are decreasing, and currently it's on 37% level. Regarding the capital investments, we can see here by the segment, the biggest investments in our group is on electricity transmission. So there is even a slight increase from the year before. And this year, half of the year, it was 55.2 million euros. And the biggest projects during this year, so it's completed installations of synchronous condensers. So the Grobiņa we finished last year, but final settlements was done in this year. Also, the Ventspils synchronous condenser was completed in June, and in September now we plan to complete the Līksna synchronous condenser. Also, the construction BESS, so we plan to. So construction is completed already. Now we are providing the tests, and we plan to enter into the service these batteries in October. So we continue also our every year's investments, which are existing substation and transmission line constructions, and also customer requests for connections for renewables. For gas transmission segment, the biggest investments are related with infrastructure maintenance, anti-corrosion treatment, isolation material renewals, regional gas transmission access point construction, and also for SCADA transmission system upgrades. And the largest project in gas transmission segment is underground gas storage modernization projects, and also SCADA upgrades. Regarding the financial ratios and borrowings, as I mentioned before, so for AST, the borrowings currently is 100 million euro green bonds with due date of January 2027. We also have overdraft 20 million euros, which is currently not used, and a loan 80 million euros, which was also not used in the first half of this year. Other numbers also briefly already provided. Equity is 37% of AST and 41% for the group. Maybe the margin is 16% for AST and 28% for the group. Total liquidity is a little bit lower than our target, which is 1, but there is an explanation that this is related with our congestion income and how it is shown in our books. And so yes, that's the main on financial ratios and borrowings. So and then I can pass the presentation to Gatis. So Gatis will in more detail tell about our development plans and where we stand with those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will give additional details about development plans in electricity business. And our development plan is described in our 10-year network development plans that we regularly update and make it public. There are 4 main directions of investments in coming decade. Overall, the total investments is 0.9 billion euros until 2035. One large portion, roughly 40% of investments, will go to reconstruction and update of the existing grid to maintain security of our service. Another large portion, also approximately 40% of investments, is aimed at increasing integration of Latvian power system into European grid. This investment is mainly aimed at new interconnections with Estonia and Lithuania. Another substantial part, roughly 10% of investment plan, is aimed at defense of our critical infrastructure and increasing resilience. These investments include such technologies as mobile substations, mobile electricity line islands, security monitoring systems, and other. And another 10% of investment volume is going to third-party projects, which are aimed at connecting new generation and storage to our transmission grid. Briefly about our main transmission grid development projects, those are two. One is interconnection between Latvia and Estonia. This interconnection from Ventspils city to Saaremaa island is aimed at increasing cross-border trade capacity, integrating offshore grid and offshore generation capacity into our market. And it will also improve security of supply of both systems. Currently, we are planning to start environmental impact assessment of this project. We will also choose a technical solution at the end of this year, and commissioning of this project is expected in 2033. The second largest investment project is interconnection with Lithuanian power system and strengthening of our western grid, including a new 330 kilowatt line from Ventspils to Brocēni. This investment project is also aimed at increasing cross-border transmission capacity. This project is also very important for further development of interconnections with Nordic system and also strengthening of security of supply in the western part of Latvia, and also connecting new renewable generation capacity, which is largely concentrated in the western part of Latvian power system. Then, with regards to new generation and storage connection, as mentioned before, there are more than 4,000 megawatts of capacity connection reservations issued by Augstsprieguma tīkls, and we have concluded 28 connection development and construction contracts, which are to be commissioned in the coming 3 years. And the graph indicates that we are in a rapid growth. There are more than 20 new substations to be built in the coming 3 years, and also more than 2,000 megawatts of new generation capacity and approximately 500 megawatts of new storage capacity to be connected. With regards to market development, in previous years, but especially in 2025, we have implemented substantial changes in our electricity market model, which are mainly aimed at integrating renewable generation and flexibility in our system. We have successfully launched the balancing capacity market this February, and this market has been operating successfully. We have procured all the necessary balancing reserves at all times since the launch of market, and this has been done at a reasonable cost. We have also switched the settlement period and trading period from 60 minutes to 15 minutes. Again, this is aimed at improving flexibility of our power system and facilitating development of flexibility sources in our system. The upcoming biggest changes are expected this October, when Latvian power system, together with all European power systems, will switch from 60-minute to 15-minute trading in the largest of the markets, which is day-ahead power exchange. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And so it's time for questions and answers. As I understand, there was a few questions sent already before today's presentation.
Indeed, dear participants, we're now opening the floor for questions. Please submit them in writing through the Q&A window that you can find below the presentation. We have received 2 questions prior the call. First one, how do you see work with aggregation companies?
I will take this. We are working with aggregators already now, and aggregators are quite important for our business because aggregators help to attract distributed smaller sources to our balancing market. And we are currently in a process of qualifying many small solar power plants, smaller batteries, and these are coming to our market thanks to those aggregating companies who are already operating.
Thank you. And the second question, what is your policy and the process for direct high voltage connections?
Yes, as we understand this question, then this means direct lines. So the line which directly connects generation unit with the consumption unit, so which is not going through our transmission network. And actually, therefore, we don't have specific policy. So if some generators or consumers see the benefit of construction such lines, so that's their choice. This year, there were amendments in the electricity market law which gives more flexibility regarding this type of direct lines, so increases the distance from the generation to the consumption unit, so more opportunities. And of course, if the market participants finds this attractive solution, then that's their possibility now to develop it in probably places which was not allowed before according to the law.
Thank you. Let's wait a moment to see if any other participants have additional questions. All right, as no further questions have come in, no, apologies, there is one just came in. Consumers without generation, just AST connection. Can you comment on this?
Consumers without generation and just AST connection. Okay, so I suppose then it's meant that there's big consumers which are connected to AST. Of course, this we also see very positive. So we already have also requests for technical requirements for such connections. Currently, we have few clients, I think 4 direct connection points where consumers is directly connected to our network. But of course, we see possibility to increase this number. And so it would be just very good if we would have more consumption on high voltage levels, so big consumers, which are industrial consumers. Last year we advocated, and there is a new regulation in the electricity market law, which provides some benefit for new consumers here at AST. So it means that if there is new connection for new consumer, we can give a discount for the first 5 years of operations. And this is quite significant discount. It can be from 80 to even 90% of fixed tariff part. And therefore, this is advantage to come here to Latvia and to invest in new consumption facilities and be connected to our transition network. So I think that's good development, and everybody, big industry is welcomed here.
Thank you for sharing. As no further questions have come in, we'll now conclude the Q&A session. Participants, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to welcoming you to our future events.
Thank you.